Great. The computer screen's shaking and I look like a potato. Thanks. On a much happier note, today's tutorial is going to be DIY Mickey ears. That is right, I'm going to show you how to make Mickey ears for less than $10 a pair, and they're super customizable, super easy to make, and super cheap. So stay tuned and I'm going to show you what you're going to need, how much it's going to cost you, and how long it takes to make each pair. This Pinterest project is brought to you by 3 Pinterest users. The first one is This Fairy Tale Life, as well as Moms Without Answers, and Auntie Tay. Auntie Tay also is a member of the YouTube community who makes super cute videos, so I will link her channel down below so you can check out all of her DIYs that she has for you guys. Alright, so what you are going to need for this project will be plain headband or a headband of your choice. The thicker the better, but I didn't want it to be too thick, so I stuck with about an inch-sized headband. I chose plain colors. It came in a pack of 3, and it came with brown, black, and gray. Now you can totally cover them to put whatever color fabric, ribbon, whatever you want on it. And these headbands cost only $4.50 for the pack of 3, and I believe that was the most expensive thing that I spent on this project. Next, you are going to need a fabric of your choice. These ones are supposed to be for mini themed ears, and I asked for 8 inches of each, so it came with a pretty large section. You can get a couple pairs of ears out of each, and it opens up again, but it's best to keep it folded so you can get one ear double-sided from this piece of fabric. And for 5 different types of fabric, I only spent $3, which was pretty cool. Next, you're going to need ribbon of your choice, or you could use fabric to make the bow of the ears. The thicker the better, because then you can get a nice big bow to represent your character that you choose. Each roll costs $2.97, so that was awesome. Now, depending on what you want to use to stuff your ear, I had gotten foam pieces of paper. They cost 33 cents each, and this is if you would like a more sturdy, stable ear that doesn't bend. So you could do your ears with foam and stuffing, or you can do just foam, or you can do just stuffing, and I'll show you what they look like with each. And then you'll also need some foam. This is like comforter foam. I didn't really pay attention when I picked it out. I just saw, not foam, fluff. I'm sorry, fluff. This is comforter fluff. I didn't really pay attention when I picked it out at the store. I just saw fluff and saw that it was cheaper, so I picked this out, and this was $5. You're going to need a pair of scissors, my favorite. Choose a good pair of scissors that cuts fabric well, and everything else that you'll be cutting. So ribbon, you don't want any tears because it will leave you with uneven edges, which is not good. I found it helpful to have some pins handy if you are going to be choosing the sewing method, which I prefer because I find it to be a lot easier than gluing, and it's a lot quicker. And then whatever you want to decorate the ears with. I have some jewels here. But today I'm just going to be making a basic pair for you. So stay tuned and let's get started. So this is a template that I downloaded off of Auntie Tay's website, and it gives you 4 different cutouts for the different sizes of your ears. There's one for the actual size of the ear, the one of the inner foam, and 2 sewing lines, one for each ear for your headband. Today, I'm actually only going to be using the one for the physical size of the ear because I find it easier, and it gives it the ear its largest potential size, and I think they come out perfect when I use this size. On the link that I first found by Moms Without Answers, they used a coffee mug. Whichever one you prefer to use, I will definitely link this template down below so that you can download it yourself and use it for your own ears. Now I'm just going to take my fabric, and it's already folded in half, but I'm going to turn it inside out so that the inner part of the fabric is facing out. Now I'm just going to take my ear, I originally was going to start out with Sharpie, but then decided it was going to bleed through the red fabric, which would not have been cute. So I'm going to take a pen and put as much pressure as I can to force the ink onto the fabric. And you have to make sure that you get all edges of the ear so that you can make the perfect sewing line. Now that I've finished tracing my ears, I'm going to cut them both out, but make sure to keep the two sides together. Now that I have the ears cut, I'm just going to smooth them out, and I'm going to take my pins and put 5 pins on each ear, one at the top and 2 on the sides, making sure to keep the bottom of the ear open. Here comes the fun part of sewing. Now you have to make sure to be careful when you put your pins in so that you do not hit them with the sewing machine like I just did. It's a simple fix. Just lift up the lead and put it back down just so you're out of the way of your pins, and then continue on sewing along the line. Once you get to the edges, make sure that you create a strong, sturdy stitch by going in forward and reverse a couple times to create a knot. Now I'm just going to cut along the edges, but make sure you leave about a centimeter to a half a centimeter of fabric from the stitch to the edge, just so you do not cut your stitch that you just worked so hard on making. Just going to continue to cut, but leave the edge around the opening a little bit larger so that you can create flaps that make it easier to glue onto your headband. Now you're going to take your foam and use the same template that you used on your fabric and trace. I have 2 pieces of foam together to make sure that both of the inserts are the exact same size for my ears. Now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to carefully cut along the line, but you cut along the inside a little bit so that it is small enough to fit into the ear, but large enough to fill out all the space. Make sure to hold the 2 pieces together tight so that they do not separate, so you don't get separate pieces like I just accidentally did. So I'm just going to go in and fix that little piece that's a little bit larger than the rest. Now, if you're a girl like me and bathing suit season tends to be tough for you when you wash your bathing suits because it's so hard to get the padding back into the bra top, let me tell you, all that hard work and practice will come into play when you go in to put in the foam for this ear. So you're going to take your finger and run it along the inside edge just to make sure that all the edges are smooth before you stuff it. You're going to take your foam, fold it in half, stick it inside of the fabric like you would the top of a bathing suit. And then you're just going to roll it out and smooth it out on each side. Once I have the foam all smoothed out in each piece of fabric, I am going to take my stuffing. Now, I had accidentally purchased a comforter stuffing, so it comes into a blanket shape that's rolled up, but all you have to do is pull the stuffing, and it makes it a lot easier just to put it inside your ear. So I'm going to break apart little pieces and start stuffing my ear, making sure to fill in all spaces so that it's nice and fluffy, but there are no bumps on the ear. Now that the ear is finished, I'm actually going to start making my bow first, and buying the comforter fluff by accident actually came in handy because it provides a nice thin sheet to add some thickness to the bow that I'm going to make. So I'm going to take a little bit of fabric, cut out a rectangle size shape, and I'm going to take the outside edges, glue them in, and then I'm going to glue a rectangle with the top and the bottom pieces just by folding it in half. Make sure you fold the edges in just a little bit extra so you don't have any pieces hanging out. Next, I'm going to create an accordion type of shape by pinching the middle up first and then the sides. And then I'm going to try and take a little bit of glue to hold it together. Now I understand the glue isn't the best way to hold it together, but you will see a little bit later how I keep the bow together. Now I'm going to take my ribbon and cut off a little piece so that I can glue it together to create that tied portion of the bow without actually having to tie it, and it actually keeps the accordion shape of the bow together nice and sturdy so that it makes gluing the bow onto the ear much easier. Once it's all glued, I'm just going to take my rhinestones to add a little bit of flair to my bow, and I'm going to glue it dead center in that little piece of ribbon that I just glued onto the bow, just to add a little bit of sparkle. Once that is all done, I'm going to take my ear and I'm going to fold in the flap on the front side of the ear with the fluff, and I'm going to take the back piece and glue it forward to create a closing. Once that is done, I'm actually going to take both of my ears and position them into the spots that I want them on the headband, and I'm going to take the closed up ear and glue a little bit of glue on the headband, just smaller than the edge of the ear. And I do that so it leaves room for me to glue down portions of the ear so that they're not flopping off of the sides. Next, I'm going to do the same to the other ear, fold in the flaps and glue them together, and then I'm going to glue the ear onto the headband as well. Now that both ears are glued on, I'm going to take my bow. I'm going to position the middle piece so that it's centered so both sides of the ear are even. And then I'm just going to place a little bit of glue on the bottom portion of the bow and glue it directly in the center of the headband. Now that it's perfectly in place, you have your final ears. It's a wrap, guys. Here are my finalized Minnie Mouse ears. Like I said before, they were super simple, super cheap, and so much fun to make. I went with classic Minnie Mouse, and I've done Rapunzel, Tinkerbell, Simba, as well as classic Mickey Mouse, and you can choose whatever character you would like to as well. Comment down below and show me pictures of ears that you have made, as well as videos you would like to see in the future. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!